Bill Jackson. I'm from Educational Media Foundation. I'm the principal studio engineer for our ministry. We're faith-based radio and streaming. We're doing other types of media and things like that. And VoxPro is one of the essential tools. We have a virtual cluster that is made by Cisco that houses a given number of blades that VMware manages the hardware resources for. It also manages the Windows virtual machines. Have a SAN array that is acting as the drive space for the virtual machines. The dongle server we only use to license VoxPro from its virtual Windows environment. And the way that works is SEH that makes the dongle server has a utility that runs on Windows. And when Windows boots, it boots this little utility that you predetermine a USB port on the dongle server, which is at a given IP address. And it goes and says, I'm supposed to attach to this thing, this port at this IP address, and it activates. When you start VoxPro, VoxPro goes and looks at it, and the utility points to where this virtual USB port is and license. VoxPro doesn't know that it's not a USB port. This is the little manager that's telling me that that port, number 6, on the dongle server is active. And that's where it's getting the licensing from. And we're just operating VoxPro just as I was, logging into some HP machine or some Dell machine or some super micro box. It doesn't matter. This is just Windows 10 running like it normally would. It's just shared with a whole bunch of other instances of Windows. That's it. They use it the same. There is a VoxPro controller hooked up to a USB port on the thin client. It operates, the user, the talent doesn't know anything's different other than this studio has a lot less stuff in it. It has no processing power. It does not run Windows. It basically uses a little thin operating system that HP has that runs RDP, remote desktop protocol. Hence, since this isn't Windows, VoxPro or the thin client not knowing what the driver, because there is no driver to install to this, not knowing what that key lock is. This is truly a hypervisor. We're doing it under VMware. And there is an underlying Windows machine that is doing that within that virtualization stack, if you will. And then VoxPro is running within that Windows environment. I can have multiple systems running, multiple sites running out of these virtual systems. And so particularly at our Franklin, Tennessee location, the data center that houses the virtual stack is in one building, and it would have 4 studios in it. But about 1.5 miles away, 2.5 miles, 2.5 miles away is a whole nother 4 studios that will operate off of that virtual stack in the other building. So each one of those little blue handles there is a blade. So you have 8 of them. Think of that blade as a computer. And right now I'm using 3. I've just got a few ports that I'm able to distribute the load off, but Windows sees, because of what the hypervisor tells it, it sees it, and the output of that goes to the Fabric Interconnect, which allows for more ports, and the Fabric Interconnects then hook to an audio over IP switch. Whether you are running Ravenna, Dante, WheatNet, Livewire, CobraNet, QLAN, it doesn't matter. It's an AOIP protocol. Your network is built around that. Again, this is VoxPro. And it operates just like VoxPro does. The talent doesn't see it as anything else, but we're completely comfortable putting our playout system and VoxPro on the air.